3 reasons why you need to know about labels in your relationship.
Labels this, labels that. Are we focusing on the wrong thing?
If you are not trying to live up to expectations, you may think it's less drama. Not to have a label on your relationship, but I am so sorry to tell you, you are sadly mistaken. We sometimes can't help it. Some of us still place expectations on that relationship. So let's just say it's best to clarify before we create our own narrative.
Quick tip for labels. Ladies, don't let that label get you set up. Some guys will go ahead and slap that label on that box so that they can get everything that they want out of you. They know really they are no good for you. Pay more attention to the person and the content and character of that person than the label that they're willing to slap on this relationship that may not be healthy for you.
It may seem less messy, but it calls for more anxiety because nothing is defined. And the reason why you're starting to feel that anxiety is because you're not sure of the situation that you have placed yourself in.
Ladies, don't let that label or the pursuit of a label put you in a box.
You guys are on 2 different paths. All right. This is a discussion that both sides, parties, and genders need to have. Okay, we're about to get into it. Okay, we had so many unanswered questions in part 1, so we had to do a part 2. So we're going to continue the discussion on how labels are a positive or how men think labels should not exist in a relationship. So as you were saying, Ronin, the last thing I remember you saying when we were discussing part 1 was something about a car and a horse or something like that. So
we'll switch it up a little bit to be more direct too. I'm gonna give you an example. Once I went on a date.
First, before you give us an example, I want to hear your example. Do you understand, agree, or disagree with labels causes anxiety? It creates maybe a sense of disrespect. You don't agree with any of that, or do you agree with any of it? Do you understand it, or how do you feel?
So I understand it, but I disagree with a big chunk of it. Because even when you have the labels, somebody could still be doing you dirty as your boyfriend or as your husband or whatever. So to me, it's still not about the label. I mean, if somebody's going to do you dirty and do you wrong, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. So you're going to give us an example.
Yeah, I was going to give an example of why even you should slow up before going into the label game. Once upon a time, I went on a date. Great young lady, but on the first date, she's like, in 2 years, I want to have a kid. I'm trying to be married and do this and do. And she laid out all the labels that she's trying to set up. And in my brain, like I had that kind of viral moment where my mom was like, hey, yo, because I don't even know if I like you yet. And you are placing our entire future on me. Also without kind of having my consent or like what I want to do with this situation on the table. So my brain was like, how about we see if we actually like each other first before jumping into all these label games. And what happened from that is we went on like 2 dates, and then I just kind of pulled back because it was too much.
It was too heavy. Yeah.
Yes, to where I'm just trying to have fun and enjoy our time together. And now I'm thinking about being a dad on a second date, and it's just like wait a minute, like let's slow down before we start planning the next 40 years of our lives.
Okay.
So I think that don't jump into it. Learn to like each other first and love each other, and then see where it goes.
I think that's the misconception of what I'm trying to say or how I feel about labels. And I think a lot of women, and I don't like to, separate myself from other women because I'm just like everybody else, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I use we a lot. So I feel like sometimes we jump too quickly. And when we think of labels, it always has to be a concrete label. And like I said, I just want to know your intent. And if we keep it to just finding out what the intent is, we won't try to, marry you off on the second date, have 3 kids by the third date. So I
Right.
feel like where we go wrong at sometimes, myself included, is that we need to stop it at intent. So if I want to know exactly what it is that you're trying to have from this relationship, I just want to know your intent. I don't know if I like you enough to marry you, but I want to know that you're at a stage in your life that you want something more than just friends with benefits. You're at a stage of your life that you want something more than just the hookup culture.
Right.
So I think when I say labels help a relationship, I'm saying labels help show the intent and leave it at that. Don't stamp a permanent label on any situation. But at least, because intent changes throughout the relationship anyway. So at least have these type of conversations so we both are reading the same book. We're going down the same path. I just feel like if you have the conversation, it creates the communication. So I understand that no one wants to be placed in this small little box that we're in. And, life and relationships and people are so much grander than that.
So I think that on the guy's side, that intent, it has to be discovered. You can't just jump in and be like,
Right.
this is it.
So what do you suggest? How do we bridge the gap?
There needs to be an expiration date on that trial period. So ladies, if you want it to be a serious thing, you need to set a time frame to where you can discover where this is going. And when it passes that trial, if it's not the show you signed up for, then cut it off. But don't go on long term without having what you want or that label, and either assume or you just don't know, or feeling uncomfortable, giving you anxiety, what have you.
Right.
Like leave space for your relationship to be discovered. And then after it is discovered what you are, then you make the decision whether you're going to stay in this position or it's not what you signed up for.
Okay,
But
so I
put a time
agree
frame on
with
it.
that. So I feel like we actually came to an understanding on both sides. So at the beginning, you should leave the box open. Don't check no boxes.
Right.
Keep it open-ended and give yourself a time period to find out what it is that the relationship is going to grow into, or what your intentions on the relationship is. And then that way, both sides can be free as a bird.
That's right.
And feel a little bit more comfortable with having those type of discussions. Because nobody wants to sign a contract that they are not ready to commit and then give it a certain amount of time before we have the discussion.
Right.
But,
and that's,
ladies, and this is me talking to you, talking to me, talking to y'all, because I'm talking to myself too. Our bodies are involved in that open-endedness. So as we're saying, we need to be open at the beginning. We need to close ourselves up too until we know, or we are, aware of what type of situation we're putting our bodies through. Also. So I just needed to say that, because y'all men are good to have, we want to keep it open. We don't want to put nothing, no stipulations, but you're ready to hop in to a sexual encounter with someone that you don't want to put stipulations on. So I just feel like if we're not going to put stipulations on it, it's going to be stipulated. Thanks, Ronin.
And I
This
feel
is
like we've
another
come to
good
an
topic. We
agreement.
have
I
so
feel
many
like we've
more
come to an
topics
agreement.
as far as he said versus she said. And we got like, it's just so many things that we need to talk about, and we need to have these discussions because we definitely need to bridge the gap between men and women and when it comes to relationships. And the only way we can bridge the gap is if we talk to each other. You have any last things to say, Ron?
Fellas, protect yourselves. Stay on top of your game. Know what you want. Be smart about it, because yeah, like, you don't want to get caught in a situation that you don't want to be in. And also, just for the gentlemen, not everything that's available is for you. So really think about it, and be considerate, because it is another human being's life that you're partaking in. So it's not a one-sided situation.
I agree. Thank you so much. Listen, if you guys love the content on this channel, please subscribe, get those likes up, and you'll hear more from me and Ronin to come.
Mm-hmm.